Welcome to the Irrigation Insights Podcast, where we talk about the business of irrigation. I'm your host, Jacob.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
All right, we're back. Finally back.
Finally.
Yeah. We're going to keep this thing
Phone's still ringing.
Phone's ringing? I knew as soon as we started, the phone's going to ring.
Yeah, that's all right.
It has been crazy. We're going to get this thing more consistent.
We're going to try to.
Yeah. We're going to get it. It's just, you've been gone.
I've been gone. I've been here.
No, I know you've been here, but just off the podcast.
Yeah. Ugh.
People have been missing you, I'm sure, huh?
Yeah, but no, I doubt anybody's been missing me here.
Yeah. Nobody's missed you here, but maybe the listeners have missed you.
Yeah, I guess we'll find out in a few weeks when everything catches up. Or no, you don't even have a backlog anymore. Everything's week by week.
Yeah, it's just week by week. This move has been absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
We had Ryan on last week talking about training, giving some tips on that. Ryan was all confident, and then we got in here and he was like as stiff as a board. That was funny.
Yeah. It's funny how you can like stand in front of people and you get in front of a camera and it's like
yeah, like a deer in the headlights.
Yeah. Yeah, just like what do I do now?
Yeah, he did good though. Yeah. Told him like just relax.
I like that SpongeBob meme where it's like, I never thought I'd get this far.
Yeah. Yeah, I was hoping to have Damon on here. That maybe we should get Damon on for the next one. We're getting into that. Everybody, I think, is starting to do startups. So it's going to be, I know I was just talking about this. It's low conversion rates and low sales for startups, I think. So I think Damon would be a good person to bring on.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. We have a lot of guys that are running low conversion rates right now compared to some of the other ones.
Yeah, and a conversion, for us is basically has to be over the service call. So if you're just running out, the startup itself doesn't count as a conversion. If all you're doing is the startup, that's not a conversion. You have to actually sell something there for it to count as a conversion. So right now you see some low numbers there. Average tickets are still decent for Damon's killing it on average ticket.
I know. It's like when I watch Damon and everything's cool, and then I get a call from somebody else like, man, these startups are killing me. And I'm like, are they startups killing you or are you killing you?
Yeah.
Like, I look at these guys we've been hiring over the last year or so, and they're all killing it. And these other guys that have been here the longest are like, man, these startups are killing me. These members are killing me. This is killing me. This is killing me. And I'm like, no, you're killing yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely a mindset. They're making lemonade out of lemons. These new guys are.
Yeah, like, for example, the other day, somebody was like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to do anything here. This guy spent like $5,000 with us last year. I'm like, well, you never know. Of course, it was a zero. But Damon calls me this morning. He's like, well, I'm going to try to sell this guy an MP conversion. But he spent, about $4,000 last year on repairs and, upgrading his timer and stuff like that. And 30 minutes later, Damon called me like, hey, I just sold it. We got to move all these other jobs.
Yeah.
I'm like, see, shortchanging yourself essentially.
Yep. Yeah, it's just a mentality thing. It's crazy how much the mental aspect will affect your performance.
Oh, it just has everything to do with it. Believe it or not, it's going to sound stupid. When you say it out loud, especially if you like hear yourself say it sounds stupid. Like if you believe it, you'll make it come true.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
And everybody will look at you and be like, well, that's stupid. I know that. Well, obviously not.
Yeah.
Like what you really believe is what you're going to make come true. If you go in there like, oh, this customer's going to be horrible. They're going to yell at me. They're not going to buy anything. You're going to find a way to make them do all those things without even knowing it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. It's so cliche. All that like reticular activating system. Like, oh, when you're looking for a car, you start seeing them everywhere, like all that stuff. It's so cliche, but it really is. It's the way it works. When you're looking to win, when you're looking for a big win, you find them. You start finding them everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, we were talking about, performance. What did you say this morning we were going to do for the guy? What was that thing they told you that those people would do for their guys when they're underperforming? Performance.
Oh, like a PIP, performance improvement plan.
Yeah, performance improvement plan. Like, I hate to say this, but I lost where I was going with that.
But just putting together. I know we were talking about doing a performance improvement plan, building a good one. Dang, you're getting calls from everybody.
Yeah, I told you this was going to happen when we walked in here.
Yeah.
That's why we don't have time to do anything anymore.
I know, dude, doing a podcast is tough. Do we need to pause it?
No. Oh, that's what it was. I wanted to go over what we're going to try to do. I mean, technically what we talked about this morning is not really a performance improvement plan, but I think it's more like a conversion performance improvement.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about doing a couple things.
And before you get into that, I want to highlight, you got this guy over here that's been working for you for, a couple years, and you got this guy that just started this year. He comes, if you raise a price, this guy that's new is gonna be like, oh, okay. And then this guy that's been here forever is gonna be like, why are you raising the price? You're making it harder. Well, I'm not making it harder. You just believe it's gonna be harder.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy how the new guys have like no head trash around high prices.
No, they're just like, whatever. I'll get it done, and then everybody else is like,
yeah, it can't be done.
I don't know. It seems kind of high. I don't think that's gonna work. And it's like, like I feel for him a little bit, but also at the same time, it's like, wait, when did you get promoted to decide what pricing should be?
Yeah. Yeah, and the old guys, they struggle selling stuff when prices go up, but all the new guys are like, yeah, whatever. And they go out and sell it all the time. It's like, that's how you know it's all mental.
Yeah. And I kind of want to tell them, like, well, especially for a few of them that have brought up a couple things, like, why are you going up on this? It's going to make it harder for me to sell. And I'm like, well, looking at the amount you've sold in the last month, I'm going to say it's not the price because you ain't sold one in a while.
Yeah.
I don't think the price has anything to do with it. I think it's the way you're pitching it.
Yeah, definitely some of that.
But I think we were looking at some of that stuff. Where did you get that price matrix from, by the way?
Well, I have a coach, and then my coach sends me all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I pay for a coach, and I try to bring a lot of the stuff that I spend a lot of money for my coach, and then I take a lot of that stuff and bring it into this podcast and give it out to you guys for free. Some of the stuff I can't give out. It's got like their name on it, and it's like like that price matrix is like in an Excel format that I would have to put on the website or something. It's like a shareable document. We need to figure out how to take that, make it, there's formulas all behind it. We got to figure out how to write those formulas, make our own version, and put it on our website.
It's probably not that hard to do. It'd probably help if somebody got away from Mac.
Yeah. Well, we got the PC right there. Kelly is actually really good at Excel. I need to just send her that and say, hey, make this. And then we'll put our own logo on it. And then we can put it on the podcast website.
Yeah. I just want to highlight that this is probably the only other one that she's going to watch because you just called her out.
Yeah, we'll see. I don't know how much she listened to. I thought it's funny the first one she listened to was the one where we played all her phone calls.
Well, not just the one, the only one.
Yeah, the only one she listened to. We played all her phone calls.
Yeah. That's called targeting.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But yeah, I get a lot of that stuff from the coach. I'm trying to figure out what direction we should steer the conversation in. I don't know how many of our listeners are like solo guys, how many of them have a few employees, because the advice that we give is.
Well, the advice we give, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if they're by themselves or if they have, even if they have 200 employees. If their goal is to grow, the advice we give fits that goal.
Yeah, most of it. But I was thinking about that, like that monthly sale, the accessory sales program. I mean, I guess you could still do that if you're one. If you're
You could do that. You could do that with one other person, just two people.
Yeah, or even if you're by yourself, you could still do it.
Yeah, you just have to gift yourself.
Yeah, gift yourself.
Yeah.
You start putting that stuff in place. Yeah, just putting systems in place. Yeah, I was just trying to think about where.
Well, I definitely think since if we have a lot of solo guys and stuff like that or growing businesses, I definitely think they probably need to be aware that they probably need to be somewhere on a profit margin of about 60%.
Yeah, the gross margin.
Yeah, that's the only way they're going to be able to scale the way they want to.
Yeah, that's what we're shooting to.
We could tell them to raise prices all we want, but we didn't know what to raise them to. And even still, even at 60%, you can have a goal at 60%, but really your customer's got to decide what's expensive.
Yeah.
Because some of this stuff we're at an 85 to 90% margin on it, and we don't ever get any complaints. We still get people that tell us we're higher on that stuff or lower on that stuff. So really, 60%, probably really nothing that we say is probably like you have to do this. Like, you have to be here to succeed. You have to do this. You have to do that.
It can't be that.
No, it's more like a guide. It's more like a guideline. It's kind of like we were talking about the gold landscape the other day. Got to write down everything you buy, everything you use. And, how many times do you stick your brush in the glue can? All that stuff. Like, that's all great and all for nickel and diamond and making sure, but and we're about to open up our warehouse here to kind of help control our stock, especially when we got receipts from the gas station with like 12 energy drinks and a candy bar. That's a problem. But where does the nickel and dime? How far do you take the nickel and diamond? Because if a guy spends 10, 15 minutes at the parts house or here in the warehouse, writing down what he takes, what he used at each job. If you're working off of a parts and labor invoice, like he's sitting there writing up, everything he used, how much of it he used. Like, kind of like somebody told me, at what point are you looking at a bucket of nails that are bent? At what point do you stop bending the nails back straight and just go buy another box of nails? Like, what's the time worth to you?
Yeah.
And that's something you got to consider too. Like, because we were talking about, what was it like, kicking our, crawling our way up to the, net profit percentage that we were looking at. And there's a lot of stuff that needs to be done. I agree with it, but there's probably a couple things that are going to come up that are just like, yeah, we could do this, but it's going to take more time on somebody's hands to do it than it might be worth. It's like, do you spend 2% to gain 1%?
Well, I think,
and it may not be you're spending 2% money to get a 1% money gain. You might be spending 2% of somebody's time that could be spent somewhere else, making that 1% or more.
Yeah, I think some of this stuff has to come in stages too. Like all of this growth has to come in stages. Like, really,
yeah,
we have a warehouse manager. Some of that stuff can be done.
Yeah, because there's just only so much you can do when it comes to like starting and growing a business, right? Somebody once told me, I was talking to somebody about a cattle business, and he was like, the only way that you become a billionaire. The only way you become a billionaire in the cattle industry is if you start a millionaire. So it's like the only way the growth has to come in stages, because you can't, unless the only way that you're going to be successful, at a quick rate is if you start successful, right? So it has to come in stages. Like, you have to eat this cost here while you're in this state of growth.
Yeah.
because a lot of this stuff we've done has just been expensive over the years. And sorry, this is gonna be funny. What in the hell are you doing?
Oh, Ben's got his dog up here.
Yeah. Why is it? I know this is okay. Why is it that the dog tries to do something super annoying when we're doing something like this?
Oh, yeah.
Dog lays on the couch all day, and then right now, while we're recording, she's gonna lick her toes.
Yeah, it was my dog. Now it's your dog, huh?
Yeah. Well, your dog barks.
Yeah.
Mine's just sitting down here doing something annoying.
I didn't even hear.
I can hear it in here. Now, what would have been super funny is if your dogs would have been let roam free in that one of yours that chewed up that cord. You sitting here recording, all of a sudden one of the mics goes out. He's just sitting down there chewing on the cord. But yeah, back on topic, everything's got to come in stages. Like you got all these like big dreams up here, but you got to like slowly crawl your way up.
So I think for this single guys, you got to figure out what's the low hanger for, like what's the most important thing, and we've talked about it. I think still think getting somebody to answer the phones, making sure your price is right, making sure you're hitting the margins you need to, and then there's just chipping away, systematizing everything that you need to. Just not building one system, having a system to answer the phones, having a system to book the jobs, having a system to sell the jobs, having a system to even get to the job, really. Just systematizing one after the other, having a system to hire, having a system to train, just chipping it away one after the other. And we're working on our sales process. That we never stop working on that, really. Because right now...
You really can't.
No, you can't. We're never going to stop training.
Yeah. And, like the conversation I've had with, some of our guys, and I have arguments about this statement in general when it's brought up, like, well, why do I have to come to training? I don't need training. Well, first of all, that's a lie. I know you need training. Everybody needs it. The first minute that you think you know everything is the first minute you start losing.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first minute you really don't know anything. So, but, even if, there's two ways I can take that response, attitude wise, when one of the guys says, well, I don't need training. Why do I don't have to be there? You can take it two ways. You can take it from the sense of, well, that's kind of a poor attitude to have for somebody that's supposed to be a team player. Or, I can take it the way that I took it and I can say, well, maybe you don't need training, but if we got all these new guys in here, these, green people, and we got all these veterans in here, what's going to happen when these new guys are sitting around a table with these guys that have been here forever, and these guys start talking about something that this new guy's ever seen before? That's a big important thing, because that's free training, that's free intelligence. And then that new guy can say, well, what do you mean by that? What are you talking about? That's what I told both of them that said that to me. Like, maybe you don't need training, but these new guys need to be around y'all so they can get some of that information from y'all to help speed the process up. And I put them on the spot and say, I guarantee you there's some things that you've learned over the years that you would have loved more than anything to be sitting around the table and somebody accidentally bring that up one day before you ran into it when you needed to know something.
Yeah.
I guarantee you there's something like that that's happened to you. We're like, dang, I wish I had known that before I did all this.
Yeah.
It happens, And the attitude still needs to be addressed, don't get me wrong, but on the first one, it's like, hey, how about for just a few minutes you stop thinking about yourself and think about the team that's around you?
Yeah.
Especially when you want to come up here and say you don't need training, and not be a team player, and then a week later call me and say, hey, I need help with something. Is there anybody around me that can help me? It's time to be a team player.
Yeah.
You might be by yourself 97% of the time, but that 3% that you need somebody, you're definitely going to want to be a team player, because nobody's going to want to come help you.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and another thing, everything kind of comes in seasons. And like I was saying, we're in that season now. We're in the startup season. What are you training on now? What are you getting ready for now to if you just run, I think if you're running through out there, just rushing through those startups, I don't know if that's the best. I mean, if we already know what our goals are for this year, per technician, for the company, for everything. If you're rushing through those startups, hitting 10 a day, 8 a day, whatever, 12 a day, rushing through the startups, I don't think that's the best thing. I think it's better to slow down, hit fewer, do full inspections, really.
Yeah, because I mean, today I got another call like, hey, I had to, I came back out here because they called back. This backflow was leaking because somebody left the test port open. I'm like, why wasn't that caught on the initial startup and inspection? Like, are we just throwing the handle on and shut the box immediately? Are we not like looking at it and make sure everything's good? Like, that's what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah, not only to prevent callbacks, but what's broken? What can we upgrade? Can we talk to them about how to make their system better? I mean, you can turn these simple startups into pretty decent jobs.
Yeah, we've seen it happen.
Yeah, we see it happen every day.
Mm-hmm.
You can turn these startups into good jobs if you change the way you operate from it's startup season, I'm going to knock 10 a day out, 12 a day out, whatever, and spread them out. We're only doing 4 jobs a day. This gives us time to walk the system, walk with the customer, spend an hour with the customer, check the whole system out, offer them options. Let's see how we can upgrade them. And then if we get done early, then we can add some more jobs. But ideally, we don't have to.
Yeah. And then it's funny because they want to call and complain like, man, this is the 5th backflow I've got sprayed by because somebody left the port open. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll talk to them about it. But how many times do you have to get sprayed to start looking before you turn it on?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a 2-person failure. It's funny to me sometimes.
Yeah.
Because I used to do the same thing. Where I only had to get sprayed like 2 times at 8:30 in the morning and be like, all right, I'm about to start looking at this. Like, no. Or like, turn it on like this,
Mm-hmm.
Not like stick my head over it with my mouth open like, like no, it's not what we're doing here.
Yeah.
Like, I appreciate the call in to let me know that I need to tell a couple people to, be turning that stuff off, but also like, you're the one coming out to do the spring startup. You should be looking and checking all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like making sure it's good to go doesn't just mean turn the water on and fire up one zone. Yep, it's ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I think some of these solo guys too could also do this monthly program, like sales program, where every month you offer a different, run a sale on something different. This is what we're looking at doing. Whether it's an upgrade on a timer, could be this month you're doing a rain sensor timer combo, running sales on MPs, backflows, or RVANs if you like RVANs better. But every month it changes. And, oh, hello, doggy. All right, sorry, you guys got to be patient with us. We are still running a business here.
Yeah, we got technical difficulties that come in the form of a dog.
Well, yeah, that and technicians and everything else. We're still in the middle of it.
Yep.
So,
anyways.
At least you can see that we're not just like some online guru trying to sell a course that have no idea what's going on.
Well, I can tell you this. If we're selling a course, we're doing a shitty job because we ain't selling nothing.
Yeah, we're definitely not selling anything.
Yeah. If we were, like I said, if we are, we need to fire ourselves.
Yeah. Speaking of that, we're brought to you by Hunter. The Hunter TM2.
Yeah. Fucking RVAN nozzles by Hunter.
Yeah, RVAN nozzle. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Rainbird Hydro-Wise. We're brought to you by the Rainbird Hydro-Wise. Yeah.
Wait, I thought K-Rain made that.
Oh, yeah, maybe it is. But
wait, I thought Toro was the best.
Yeah, we're switching to Toro. We're only putting in Toro now.
Yeah. Didn't you have Toro mowers when you started mowing?
Toro does make the best mowers. Well, maybe like Skag too, but Toro and Skag are the best. They just need to stay out of the irrigation.
Yeah, because every time a Toro head is involved, I'm just like, yep, high blood pressure.
Yeah.
Because you know it's freaking male threads.
Yeah.
Ain't gonna change the whole head.
Yeah.
There was a guy in Garland. He had 6-inch Toro heads, and not only so like if the head was leaking, like he wanted them changed when they were leaking around the little seal, and of course you can't buy those stupid things anymore. So he wanted them all changed, right? And, 6-inch heads, they're usually piped in from the side, because they had that little thing. It's like, okay, that's not bad, right? It's just, it's just gonna be flexos. No. Whoever put the system in, freaking hard piped into the side of them.
Mm.
So you got to dig it all up and cut the pipe to get this freaking head out. And then you got to glue a bunch of crap together to convert it to flex hose. So that way when it needs to be changed in the future, you can actually freaking pull it out.
Golly.
It's just freaking dumb.
Yeah, somebody made their life a lot harder.
Yeah, you just know when they were putting it in, they were like, somebody's going to freaking hate this.
Yeah. Jeez.
And they're probably freaking dead now.
Yeah. Or retired, laughing at everybody else.
Yeah, like y'all suck.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking there's probably two things in this springtime rush people are thinking about. Most people are probably really busy. A few people may not be.
You can say that again.
Yeah, we are swamped. But you might be thinking like, we need more leads or we need to increase our average ticket. You should be thinking about increasing average ticket.
I was going to say, I don't think anybody needs leads right now. If they do, there's something wrong.
Yeah.
You got something else wrong somewhere else.
Yeah. I had this, it wasn't my idea, but I got this idea from my coach, and he got this idea from another business. He said he was doing a shop tour of another business, and they had customers calling in. Think about this. They had customers calling in to this business wanting a new yard sign. So customers calling in saying, hey, my yard sign is looking a little old. I want a new one.
Yard sign?
Yeah. Like this business had yard signs out in customers' houses, in their flower beds or in their yard or whatever. And the customers were calling in saying, hey, my yard sign's looking a little raggedy. Can you come replace it?
The answer should be yes.
Well, yeah, it's definitely yes. But my coach was like, you have people calling in wanting new yard signs? And they're like, oh, yeah, all the time. And his business was, what they were doing was every job they went to, they would tell the customer, you let us put a yard sign in your yard, then we enter your name into a monthly drawing, and then every month we draw a name and you get like $1,000. And they do that, and then they show up, and you can't just like, I see people do these drawings and they only do it on Facebook. They don't do it right. You gotta publicize the crap out of this. They will come out with the big check, like Publishers Clearinghouse. They're filming it. They gotta, even if you gotta have a film crew there. Mics showing up, knocking on the door. Film crew, you're showing up. Big $1,000 check. Even if you can only do $500, $750, whatever. You're showing up with a big check, knocking on the door. Congratulations, you just won. You're filming it. You're taking pictures, balloons. Here's your $1,000 you just won. Then you post that all over your website, all over your social media, getting as much attention as possible. And they were doing that. And you think it's $1,000 once a month. That's $12,000 a year. That would be like the low. That's like not even that much in advertising. I spend like $25,000 a month on Google.
Mm-hmm.
$25,000 a month. So $12,000 a year is not even that bad. But they did it so much that they had, I don't even know, thousands of people with yard signs all across the city with their yard signs, and they wanted those yard signs there. They wanted them there. And whenever those yard signs got raggedy, they were calling in saying, we need a new one.
Interesting.
I thought that was a pretty cool idea.
Interesting. Very interesting.
And you can put a verification process in, like, we got to see that yard sign there. or whatever. But yep, I thought that was a pretty cool way. And you're getting lead, put a call tracking number, QR code. Now your customers are advertising how many people are driving down the street every day in those neighborhoods. And if it's $500 a year as your reward, then, or $500 a month as your reward, then that's $6,000 a year. It's a pretty cheap way to advertise in all the areas you're working.
Yeah. That's not a bad idea.
Mm-mm. And it's not a bad idea if you actually, when you get a winner, you actually do it right, with the big check. You film it, you do all that stuff, not just like, oh, let me do a Facebook Live. Hey, congratulations to Amy. Amy's not even watching. And then you just, mail her a check. Like, no, nobody's going to even know that she got the money. You got to do it right.
Yep.
That will get attention.
Get people looking.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then you might have people that aren't even your customers. Like, yo, I want that yard sign. Give me that yard sign. I'll put one out here.
Yeah.
I think that's
chance of free money. Why not?
Yeah, give me that yard sign.
That's funny. I was looking at something the other day. Pretty funny. And this giveaway that this company's doing is so valuable, or it could be so valuable and it could be so good that it's almost dumb not to do it. So basically what it is Bass Pro Shops, they just released a way for you to go on their website and build your custom dream boat, like the Nitro or Ranger. Like, hey, get on here, build the boat you want, and we'll order it, right? They just come out with that. So they were like, all right, well, it's not getting enough traction. So they were like, all right. So they did this big thing. They emailed me because I shop there a lot, and then they were doing it on Facebook. I think I heard it on the radio the other day too, which was really funny. Basically what it is they say, all right, you get on there, you build your dream boat, and we'll put it in a drawing. One person gets their dream boat for free. But then it's like, now, basically what it is I did it. And basically what they're getting out of it is when you do it, once you get to the end, it says, all right, you can either choose to contact your dealer about getting it, or you can put it in for the drawing. But if you put it in for the drawing, your email and all your information automatically gets signed up for text alerts and all that stuff.
Yeah, it's a lead capture. It's just capturing leads.
Yeah, it's capturing a database, and now they got all these people in their database, and now the new thing that they launched has now got all this traction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now when somebody, and really, when you're talking about a $70,000 item, it only takes a few people that were like, oh, you know what? I didn't know they did this. If I don't win, I'm gonna do it anyway. So.
Yeah.
It only takes a few of those for them to be like, it's worth it.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
No, I got to sell a couple. And the whole campaign was worth it.
Yeah. So, and now everybody knows that they can go on there and just customize it all right from their phone or computer, wherever that is.
Oh, man. Spent a lot of time building a dream boat.
Yeah.
Yeah. You see a lot of that stuff for just capturing leads. You see a lot of ebooks that people give out for free just to capture leads. Training manual, whatever.
It'd be cool if we had a software that could take somebody's address and show them what their sprinkler system looks like, and then let them see what happens when they put MP rotators on it.
Yeah, we don't have anything like that, but what we have is a water waste quiz. So you can go to our website, fill out information about your property, about your sprinkler system, and it'll tell you are you wasting water? How much you could be saving, things like that. And that's pretty much just a lead capture.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a water waste. It's just a quiz. And you could advertise that quiz on Facebook. Say, hey, take this free water waste quiz. And then it's just capturing leads. That's all it is.
Yeah, and I don't know if you've seen it, but on TV the other day, somebody had a TV on I was going by. North Texas, actually, they did a thing where they were standing out in front of Lake Lavon, and they were like, hey, Lavon Lake, it's full pool, it's ready to go. Let's keep it this way. Keep your timer set for once a week or leave it off while it's raining.
Hmm.
And
Dang.
how many people are we doing spring startups for that are not listening to that?
Definitely not. Yeah, once a week is rough anyways. I don't know why twice a week.
Yeah, that was kind of like, and I'm sure there's different arguments on this. Like when I got into that argument with the guy that, the head irrigator at the city of Frisco, how come y'all don't do kickbacks on people doing smart controllers? Oh, well, we tested that in a controlled environment. It doesn't save anything. Well, what do you mean what's a controlled environment? Did you just run it for 10 minutes? Of course it's going to water the same way.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I don't know.
And it's like what type of nozzles are we using? Are we still using rotors? Like, are we still using rotors that are like spraying onto the street? Are we still using, nozzles that are like over covering? You see so many people, like, you turn on their front yard, and because they have no idea, or they had this gardener that has no business touching anything, and it turned all the freaking spray heads to like 180s, and the spray heads in the front yard are watering the flower bed when there's already a zone that runs the flower bed. It's like you're double covering this, watering the street over here. And some people are even crazier than that. I've ran into people that just straight up don't believe that their drip irrigation in the parkway is working. And they'll have like 2 rotors at the bottom of their yard mixed in with all these spray heads watering the parkway.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they'll be like, well, I don't understand why the side of my house is a swamp. Well, the reason your side of your house is a swamp is you get like 30 minutes of sunlight, and you got this freaking thing running 15 minutes over here 3 times a week. Of course it's dead.
Mm-hmm.
There's moss growing in it, mud everywhere, mosquitoes. Like, everything drains right here.
Yeah.
This is not. First of all, it doesn't need to have 12 nozzles that are freaking 8 or 10 foot apart that are watering like freaking 2 gallons a minute per nozzle. Just.
I know. That's why I think I think it's less about watering once a week and more about just watering smart.
Yeah, I mean.
Then you could water 2-3 times a week if everybody was set up to watering the right way.
Well, it's just the way they're targeting it, right? Because they're just targeting it as in, okay, well, we can't just sit here and talk about how they need to pay attention to what they're watering. The easiest way we can do to save it is tell people to cut it off.
Yeah, but that don't work either.
Yeah, maybe it does work. It'll keep, like, somebody that would normally turn it on, now and just let zones like that run for 15 minutes up until like June when they actually need it.
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Because it's what happens is they turn it on in the early spring, right? And they don't touch it. They don't have anybody that comes out, so they just leave it on for 15 minutes. And then when it's running 3 times a week for 15 minutes and it's raining and it's cool, then it's going to kill the grass because it just drowned it, and now it's got all this moss growing in it. Now summertime comes around, and the grass is already all dead.
Yeah, and they don't want to buy rain sensors.
Yeah.
They say, oh, I can turn that off myself. That goes back to, that's our job to educate them.
Yeah.
Really. I mean, you've got to find what motivates them.
Mm-hmm.
Let them know. This is why the lakes go dry. This is.
You're the reason we have water restrictions.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, you go out there, like, when at this guy's house one time, and I'm like, he's got this freaking like little pad he's built for his trash cans, and there's like 3 sprinkler heads under it. And I'm like, hey, or he was like, I don't understand why this dirt keeps washing away. I'm like, well, that's because when they put the pad in for your freaking trash cans, they didn't take the heads out. And he's like, yes, they did. I know they did. I'm like, obviously not. There's water coming out from there. And they're like, no, you did it. I'm like, okay, whatever. Really? Like, just let it run then. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's your wasted money, but it's like, I just don't get that ideology. I don't.
Yeah. But I don't know. You can't fix stupid.
No, you really can't, and we get a lot of it. A lot of it.
Yeah. But that was one thing. That I think the yard sign idea is a good idea to drum up some leads. Then we're going to talk about. I think right before we got cut off, I was talking about ways to increase that, increase your average ticket, increase sales. And that's going to be running those monthly promotions and just offering. Even if you offer it poorly, just say this month we're doing a special on timers. You can offer a slight discount. Then go to your suppliers and get that same discount. Buy them in bulk if you need to, or just tell them if you're doing a promotion on this timer this month, go to your supplier, get the discount on that timer. Buy some in bulk to get the discount. Offer the discount to the customers, and then promote the heck out of that. At every job you go to, you're offering that timer, that smart timer, that rain sensor, some R-bands or MPs. You're pushing that product that month. That's just going to build you in the habit of pushing that. And then next month you change it. You can just keep changing this stuff. It'll get you in a good habit of trying to offer additional items that they need if they don't have it. It can increase your average ticket. Let's not just do the repair, not just do the startup. We're going to offer something they don't have. I mean, that's what we're going to be. So we're going to be. They don't have a smart timer. Let's get them the smart timer. They don't have a rain sensor. Let's get them the rain sensor. Let's get them all this stuff.
Yeah. We'll be there. We'll be doing it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not, you're getting left behind.
Yep. You got to do it.
And I still tell everybody this: the happiest customers we have are our highest spending customers.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
If you I mean, yeah, you can. The only way that you're going to have 100% happy customers is if you work for free. You don't charge them nothing. It's the only way they're going to be happy. And I would bet that still 30% of them are going to be unhappy, even with free.
Oh yeah, that'd be mad.
I guarantee you, if you went and did a bunch of work for a guy for free, I guarantee you, he would call back a month later and be like, "Hey, this is still messed up. You need to come fix it."
Yeah, you need to come do it right now. I'd have rather paid you and had it done right the first time than had it done for free and it'd still be wrong.
Yeah, they always come up with something. It's vice versa. Like, I'd have paid you, or you need to come back out here and do it for free.
Yeah.
Like this guy this morning, he was like, well, this other company fixed it and your guy messed it up. Okay, well, first of all, why are we doing a spring startup if somebody came out 2 weeks ago and fixed it? Like, if it was working 2 weeks ago, why are we coming out to turn it on? Argument number one. Argument number two, why didn't you just call that company back?
Yeah.
Like, I just make nothing.
Yeah.
We could ramble about people like that all day.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can.
Yeah. They're out there.
Yeah.
But you don't have to offer this stuff. It doesn't have to be the perfect pitch. You don't need the perfect pitch. You just need to offer it. Just offer it. It's better to offer it poorly to everybody than to not
offer it at all.
Yeah, to not offer it at all.
Yeah. It's kind of like that thing that one of our guys says that's so funny. He's like, if you ask 100 women to sleep with you, one of them's bound to say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100 to 1. The odds on that are in your favor. So good.
Yeah.
Same thing with the sales pitch. If you ask 100 people to buy this backflow, one person's bound to say yes.
Yeah, and you'll get better over time at offering it. That first couple of times you offer it, it'll be rough. You'll be awkward, especially if you're not used to it. But after you get a couple no's,
you'll know what to do with them.
Yeah.
You'll get tired of them no's eventually. You'll like, all right, why are you saying no? Okay, well, what if we can do this? We can do that. Start working with them.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee I can get somebody to buy this.
Yeah. Yeah.
I know exactly how I do it. Lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
If it goes out, I'll replace it.
Somebody would buy it just because it's cool.
Yeah. No, I'm saying like I guarantee if I was still working, I could put this on my truck and I could come up with a price and I guarantee you somebody would buy it because all I have to say is lifetime warranty.
Yeah.
If it goes out, I replace it. You can sell anything as long as you're within reason.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like I said, somebody might buy it just because it's cool.
Yeah. It is cool.
Yeah, it also blocks all this crap I got behind it.
Yeah.
Well, this one wasn't quite as good as some of our last ones. We need y'all to email us some questions. Actually, is what we really need. We need questions. If some of y'all are around the DFW area, it'd be nice. We could bring some of y'all on the show. We can spend every episode talking about average tickets and revenue and profit margins and all this stuff. But I mean, eventually, it's going to be the same thing.
Yeah, I know it's going to be the same thing. But
bring somebody in here with some differing opinions. Even if you disagree with us, come on, let's talk about the disagreements. Like, let's get something exciting in here. Like, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Let's talk about why you think our ideas are stupid, or let's talk about why you think our ideas are good. We can do both ways. We just need more things.
Yeah, we do need some questions. The questions we've gotten are all about people that aren't making much money and want to make more money. I think that's why we focus so much on this stuff, is because if you want to make more money, you're going to have to raise your prices, make sure they're in line. You're going to have to offer options. You're going to have to go for that timer sale. You're going to have to go for the rain sensor sale. You're going to have to, this offering options. Don't just sell the pipe lead that they called about.
Yeah.
But that's all the questions we've gotten. We need something else. What else?
And it can be anything. Like, we can sit in here for 45 minutes and talk about why slip fixes are stupid. Everybody will have points. I see people on the freaking Facebook pages all the time like, oh, if you put slip fixes in, you're not professional. Well, I agree and disagree with that on some fronts, because, when we're running a business, we're often, okay, let's say 3 out of those 10 slip fixes go out, right? What do those 3 really worth to you? Because I can send a guy out and he can put a slip fix in 30 minutes, versus if I sit there and make him hard pipe, it's going to take him an extra 30 minutes. It takes him an extra 30 minutes to hard pipe it. By the end of the day, that's 2 hours. If he does 4 of them in a day, that's 2 hours he could have saved. I could have sent him somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And then, okay, I got to come warranty the slip fix. Okay, worst case scenario, we do like you did the other day, call somebody like a subcontractor we know that's cheaper. Hey, just tell me what you charge for you to go out there and fix it. Eat the cost on it. Keep your guy that's making you money running.
Yep.
Maybe a slip fix is not professional, but maybe there's a reason we use it.
Yep.
And then there's also times where we can't use it. There's been times where pressure's too high, area's too small, got too many fittings in the way. Sometimes you got to hard pipe it, but whether it's the right or wrong way to do it, I've been doing this a while and I haven't seen a slip fix leak yet.
Very rarely. I was going to say 30% is like really high.
Yeah,
I was
just saying that because it seems like some people have like a 30% fail rate. We've had none of them.
Mm-mm.
I think of all the people we've had working for us all these years, I think we've had maybe 2 slip fixes that leak.
Yeah, if it saves you a bunch of time and you're actually going to stand by your warranty.
Yeah. Because we'll stand by it. If it leaks, we'll come out and take care of it for you. We have a 5-year warranty on some of this stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
The customer doesn't know the difference, and they're still getting the fix that they needed. They're still going to be able to use their system, and more than likely, I've dug up slip fixes that have been in the ground for 15 plus years, and I'm digging it up, and it's like the slip fix is not even why I'm in here. I'm digging it up because this idiot that put the slip fix in put it next to a 90, but then didn't bottom out the 90.
Yeah.
That's all the old slip fixes I've dug up. That's usually what it is. Which, if you're hard piping it, and actually, I have repaired more hard pipe fixes than anything, because when people hard pipe it, because it's so hard to mess with without breaking it, there's a good chance they don't bottom something out, and that's what I have to repair. That's what I have to work on, is somebody going in there and saying, okay, we got to hard pipe this, and the hard pipe's the only way, and then they don't bottom the freaking fittings out.
Yeah.
Then 5 years later, they build a new freaking water tower or pump station or whatever. Pressure goes up 5 psi, boom, comes apart.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I've never dug out. I've dug out those stupid compression fittings for leaking because people don't tighten them. Rubber O-ring gaskets go out in them. I don't think in all the years I've done this, I've ever dug out a slip fix that was leaking. Only because something around it wasn't done right.
That not bottoming out, that happened when I went to bring that trencher to Ethan. He hard piped a tie-in for a reroute. Did it all nice and pretty, had the 90 going up. I mean, it was a whole thing he built. And like an hour later, after he had it all tied it in, it freaking blew off because he didn't bottom out the 90 in there. It's like, now you got to cut it all out and redo it.
Yep.
Yeah.
it's fun. It's funny to me seeing those posts on the Facebook groups because I get it. I can definitely see why people will say that using a slip fix is not like either not professional or not the right way to do it. And I can see why they say that, because essentially and a lot of people, this is funny to me, they call it glue, which, I call it glue too, but it's a chemical bond. Really, when you're joining those pipes with that glue, you're basically joining them and they're basically one piece at that point.
Mm-hmm.
So I can see why they think, oh, well, you're putting a slip fix in there with 2 O-rings. Those O-rings are going to wear out. Well, if you bottom out the slip fix right and you do everything the right way, why would those O-rings wear out? They're not going to be in the sun. Maybe maybe calcium buildup will get them over time, but like it's water. It's not in the sun. It's not gasoline. It's not any kind of chemical. Maybe the chlorine, maybe from the pump station, the chlorine we have in our water. I think you've got some water tables of what all's in our water. What are we looking at? And I would challenge this. I would challenge the fact that the pipe that's used down here in Texas would degrade before the O-rings in that slip fix would. That's what I would challenge.
Maybe. It's going to last a long time. It might be sketchy if you put a slip fix in and you're only given like a 30-day or 90-day warranty. But when you offer long warranties, what's the real risk?
Yeah.
Especially to the customer. That's really all that matters. Is the customer taken care of? Are they going to be taken care of? And with us, they are. So.
Yeah, and I can tell you this. If your guy doesn't bottom a fitting out and he's using a slip fix, as long as it doesn't break the fitting, the slip fix will still allow you to do your job correctly if you clean everything up and do it, again, the right way. If you hard pipe that sucker in there with like 490s and one of them blows off, guess what? You're cutting all of it.
Yeah.
Especially if you're like right by a tree root or something like no. Oh.
I was going to say, I just watched Ethan do that.
Yeah.
After like an hour, it sat there and then it didn't blow apart, but it pushed that 90 out, started spewing water. You got water turned off, pumped all the water out, and you could just see 90 just pushed out. It wasn't bottomed out, dude.
Yep.
Now you had to cut everything out and breathe.
And that's not to say hard piping is the cause of that. You still got to bottom your fittings out no matter what. But it seems like almost all the pipe leaks I've ever done doing this was either somebody breaking it, a tree root breaking it, or it's been fixed before and something in there was not bottomed out because they hard piped it.
Yeah, that was.
Put 2 couplings in a piece of pipe and just.
Yeah, that's him. That wasn't hard piping's fault. That was just him. Because he was hard piping, he's trying to do all this stuff and
it's difficult.
Yeah, and he didn't get it in there all the way. He's trying to get 2 things to sit at once.
When you teach somebody how to appropriately use a slip fix, they can get it right every time.
Mm-hmm.
It's only when you leave it. It's only when you don't bottom it out or you leave so much room that it can sit here and do this. That's when you got a problem, because that's where you'll wear out a slip fix. Is if you put it on a main side, and when that pressure changes, it turns into a jackhammer and it's moving.
Yeah.
That's when you wear those O-rings out, or you put pressure on another fitting somewhere nearby because it's moving and it's not supposed to be moving.
Yeah.
And there's right ways to orient them too.
Oh yeah, you gotta have them on the right way.
Mm-hmm. So, but we could spend forever talking about that. We could agree to disagree. We could disagree and get into a fist fight. We could do all these things here. We just need content. We need some people. We'd love to have some people on. We'd love to have some questions. Obviously, we're not a coaching firm. We don't mind answering questions. We're not gonna run your business for you. But we can certainly, if you've got 6 or 7 questions that are reasonable, we can give you a guide, right? Because we weren't given a guide, and when we finally had the resources to get a guide, we still had to work issues out of it. We don't mind giving people a guideline or a way to look. Hey, you need to be doing this, or you need to be going over there. You need to be doing this. Like, we're not just going to say, all right, I'm going to do this. We're not doing it for you.
Yeah, we can't do it for you, but we can, ask specific questions and we can give you specific answers. If they're very vague, then the more vague your question is, the more vague our answer is going to be naturally. So just ask specific questions. What are you having trouble with? And then we can point you in the right direction. The hard work's always going to be implementing everything. But if you're, whatever it is you're having trouble with getting leads, training people, finding people, what else have we had trouble with over the years? I don't know. Had trouble with everything, probably, really. Getting people, accountability, that's another huge one. Getting people to actually do the things you're telling them to do.
Mm-hmm.
It's all a struggle.
Well, I think this could be the end of the episode. In final news, we got our name trademarked, so we're coming for that place in Pennsylvania now. No.
Yeah.
We're gonna get our logo trademarked.
Yeah. Yeah, that's already in the process. Yeah, trademarks take a long time, take like 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
But once you get the application going, then nobody else can really take it.
Yeah.
Once you file the application. Yeah, that's another thing too, is I had to do that because freaking somebody was coming to threaten me like, oh, paid me a bunch of money to file it was a law firm threatening me that sent me like a thing. It was like, pay us a bunch of money to file the trademark for you or we'll file it and we're going to take the trademark. And I thought it was a scam. And they kept sending me letters and emails saying, you owe us this much money or we're going to file the trademark and we'll own it. And then you'll have to pay us to take ownership. And then I called a lawyer and they were like, no, there's law firms out there that, once you get like a certain size, you start getting reviews, get a certain size, you start getting noticed. These law firms will come after you. That's what they'll do. They'll start sending you threats and they'll trademark your stuff and out from under you. And then you got to pay them to get your name back or you got to change your name. So they started sending us threats. I hired a lawyer. He sent them like a cease and desist and we filed the trademark and that shut them down right then. But that was...
Yeah. You're the world worst about brushing stuff off too.
Yeah, well, I thought it was a scam. I was like, well, who the heck? And they sent me another one. I was like, man, these guys are scamming me. And after the third threat, I was like, okay, maybe this is real.
Maybe there's at least something to it.
Yeah, let me get a lawyer on the phone.
Yeah. Well, I think on that note,
yeah, like and subscribe, YouTube, rate us on Apple, Spotify, everywhere.
Send us questions.
Oh yeah, send it to your other friends who are in the irrigation business too. Don't, if you're listening, you're probably in the irrigation business. Send this to your other buddies in the irrigation business. Share the show. It's not, don't just keep it to yourself. We're all trying to help each other. That's the reason we're doing the show. We could just be out here doing it alone or not sharing any tips and just say to ourselves, but we're trying to elevate the industry. That's the whole reason. So we can be respected like plumbers, HVAC, electricians. So just send this to your buddies so they can start getting on the right path. And then we can all bring each other up.
We can all benefit.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
Well, we'll see you next week after our lawsuit with Rainbird Hydrowise.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.